Pot on the bod.
Finger on the dinger.
Finger on the dinger.
Hello, and welcome to WayTooBroad.
On the bod.
The pod on the bod about things we're really, really ridiculously excited about. I'm Hannah, and these are my co-hosts on the bohost.
Co-host with the bomost.
With the mo-host.
Erin and Ben. Hi, Erin.
Hey, Hannah. Hey, Ben. On the bed.
Hello, both of yous.
It already starts with Ben, so, I mean, B. So what are you gonna...
Starts with Ben. Ben's name starts with Ben.
It's a silly late Friday edition of WayTooBroad this week.
6:30.
It's...
Wow. Okay, Ben.
It is not.
Okay, West Coast frickin' Ben.
West Coast
We're
Ben.
impressed with your 3 hours later.
Earlier.
I'm tired. Listen. Let's meet in the middle. It's like
Let's meet in the
7:30.
middle.
It's 9:40.
Let's
That's
meet
the
in
truth.
the spotlight.
Yeah.
Erin.
Yeah, there's 2 against 1, Ben.
Why don't we
Yeah,
just
it's
always
fun.
talk in Central Time? That won't be confusing for anyone.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
What is Central Time? Is it 2 hours behind the East Coast?
No, it's 1 hour.
Well, then
And then
that's
there's
not
Mountain
fair.
Time.
That's still not fair.
Let's talk in Hawaii time. Let's just only
Okay.
talk in Greenwich Mean Time.
Let's
Yeah.
go to Hawaii and start recording our podcast there.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
better idea.
That's
Yeah.
a plan we can all get behind.
Every
That's a
week.
plan with the band.
Plan with some flan.
Erin, what are you drinking?
Hi, I'm drinking. I've got 2 beverages here this evening at 9:40, the canonical time. I've got a key lime LaCroix. Guess who inspired me there?
Woo, it was me.
As it was you. It was you. I was re-listening to our podcast and it was like, oh, I'm drinking. And I listened to myself get hyped about key lime seltzer and then was like, I'm going to treat myself. So I did. I got a whole 12-pack just for me. Molly was like,
Can I tell you something about Key Lime LaCroix?
What's that?
Between when we recorded last and now, I bought a 12-pack and then an 8-pack and drank all of both.
Yeah. Had you had it before?
Yeah, I had it when we went to Joshua Tree. That was the first time I had it.
Yeah,
it's
it's
so
dope.
fucking good.
Yeah,
So
it's
good.
really good. So I'm drinking one of these, which I have all to myself, and I have a ginger ale kombucha here as well.
Oh, that's nice. Is that GT's?
It's a GT up in
I
here.
like a GT's gingerade. Can't lie.
GT on the BT.
Is Gingerade ginger lemonade or just ginger flavored? What's the aid?
That is a good cue. That's a good cue.
You know
Let's
what?
see here.
While Erin's looking that up, I want to announce I have not been able to find any more key lime LaCroix since LaCroix since my segment about it.
Ben and I drank it all. That's why
Kylie
Yeah, you
got
bought
it
it
at
all up.
Target.
we were running a shortage on it. We're running them out. We're running a
We're
run on them.
We're running a shortage.
We're running a shortage. We made a run on them. That's what I want
You
to
made
say.
a run on him. That's okay. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm
I
glad.
think no to the lemon, yes to the ginger. So ginger
So
aid,
it's just
but not the
ginger?
aid. Yeah, aid does not imply lemon. I guess.
And
That's fair.
Why doesn't it just say ginger?
Because
Well, lemonade, the lemon is the part of the aid. Like you can
Right.
have limeade.
right.
Well,
The aid is not the part that implies
What's ginger aid then?
Ginger
an aid
sugar?
with ginger.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's an aid
Ben?
with ginger.
What is that?
It's an aid with ginger, Ben. Freaking idiot. God, how did they let you into college?
Twice.
Twice. That's why you have to go to so much of it, because you don't know about AIDS yet.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, please cut that out.
ADES.
ADES. Oh god. Okay, who's drinking what?
Ben, what are you drinking?
Iced
Water?
water. I would have LaCroix, but I drank it all already.
Yeah. Can't freaking
It's so
pace
good.
yourself.
It's so good. We said so We said so good like a record number of times in one like 15-second period when we were talking about it the first time. Just each of us.
So good.
Yeah. So good, so good, so good, so good.
So
good.
It
so
is so good, though.
So good.
So
Did we
good.
just break our record? So good.
I'll
So
have to
good.
check.
So good.
I'll have to go back and check. I'll let the
If
people
we
know.
did break our record, that'd be so good.
So good.
Good.
Anyway.
What are you drinking, Hannah?
I got 2 drinks. One is raspberry lime polar seltzer,
Cool.
which is not as good as key lime LaCroix. But it's a good old standby. And then I was delivered this lovely mug of hot chocolate
Oh, fun.
Nice.
earlier. I asked Ian if there was anything special about it, producer Ian, and he said that it is homemade, so that's special.
Nice.
I don't know exactly what that means, and it's topped with marshmallows, but they're like real marshmallows, so they're like actually melting right now, which is beautiful. I'm actually gonna take a picture of it
A beaut.
because even you guys can't see how beautiful it is. So
Just pour it. Just hold it up over your computer and tip it
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
really blew it by starting with the words pour it.
God, man.
Fuck.
Yeah. How do I make this pretty?
Just pour it. I mean, show us. Show us.
How do I
It'll be
do marshmallow art?
Marshmallow.
Marshmallow. Okay. Listen. Y'all want to hear about a
Listening.
snowstorm?
Yeah.
Huh? What?
Y'all want to hear about a snowstorm?
Yeah. Are you the right person to tell us? Aren't you bad at weather?
Nice.
Yes, because I'm the one who insisted that maybe we could still go to Maine and not get stuck in a snowstorm, and that turned out to be extremely false.
Oh no.
If we had gone up there with my Hyundai, my like 2-wheel drive Hyundai, like we would have been stuck there until I don't even know when. So we get to this cabin up in Maine. We went last weekend, so to give context, there was like a snowstorm across the whole sort of eastern seaboard, a storm that was snow in some places, and it was rain down near where we actually live, but up in Maine it was like 2 feet of snow. It started like the day after we got there, and it ended the night before we were supposed to leave, but the snow started out as like light fluffy snow, but like a lot of it, and then it gradually turned into like little balls of ice throughout the day. So the roads were like already, by the way, PS, when we got there was already snow all over everything. Like the roads were like half the size that they would be if it wasn't for snow, just from like snowfall that hadn't like had time to melt before, because Maine's really fucking cold in the winter.
I've never seen snow shrink a road. That's impressive.
Yeah, it did.
That is some snow.
But really that's like, that does happen in the winter.
Yeah, that's what it does.
Yeah, in like a heavy winter, it's just like the piles of snow on the sides of the road get so big that they end up just like the roads get narrower. It's kind of crazy, but it's actually been the weirdest thing, because this winter has been like fairly mild, at least for snow, actually just in general so far in Massachusetts. And so I had like forgotten what real winter with like a snowy winter looked like. And then we got up there, and before it even started snowing, it was like suddenly winter. So anyway, the cabin was really nice, but it was like down a dirt road. So that would have been completely impassable. So anyway, we ended up leaving early on Monday morning. I don't want to go too much longer because this is not incredibly interesting. But it was crazy because when we got back, it was like so freezing fucking cold for like 3 days in a row. And it was just horrendous because, as I said, it had been a fairly mild winter. But it was like we went up to Maine, grabbed the winter, and brought it down with us in the Jeep.
You fools.
It sucked a lot.
Listen, I don't want to. Hyundai is 2020, and I don't want to say I told you so because I didn't tell you anything. But if you had asked me, should I go on vacation more north in the winter, I would have said no. That sounds like a terrible plan. But you didn't ask me, so I told you so.
I think what we learned about this tradition of ours, my friends and me, is that we don't want to go like north is fine, but farther north than like farther north than like an hour will take you is not, because when something like this happens, like we had people drop out for even like not snow related reasons, just because they like suddenly couldn't make a 3.5 hour drive for, you know, child related reasons or whatever. So we learned our lesson there, but we did have a good time. We played lots of games. We did a puzzle.
Good.
We played in the snow, obviously. So I don't regret anything.
Good.
No regrets.
No regrets for Hannah.
No
Shout
regrets.
outs to my friends, Dawn, Sally, and Christy, who all made the trip up to spend snowy time in a cabin with us.
Friggin' shout out.
Great job.
And the children friends whose names are Marcus and Ivy. Good children's.
Good children.
Great job being kids.
Yeah. I don't think any of them listen to this, but just in case.
I don't think they should. I wouldn't recommend this podcast to children.
I mean, the adults also. I don't think
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Yeah, I would agree.
Good.
Don't play this for your
Yes to
children.
the adults. Please don't play this for your children. We talked about boobs immediately. Speaking of, we've been watching Sex Education and totally loving it.
Yeah, we
so
finished
good.
it over here.
Yeah, we haven't finished it yet.
So good. I loved it.
Like, we watched an episode the other night, and then, you know, you do that thing where you turn to each other and you're like, another one, and I turn to Molly and I'm like, another one, expecting, like, as a kind of a courtesy, like, you know, I didn't actually, like, it wasn't like a real question. And she was like, no, I have to, like, prepare for, like, I don't know, she's, like, teaching B school, and she somehow thinks that's more important than, like, trying to get through sex education faster. So, we've been on, we watched, like, one, like, 2 nights ago.
Oh, that's
Like,
painful.
this is a slow pace, and
That's
it's
brutal.
rough. I know.
Ugh,
So anyway,
you poor
we're not
soul.
done yet.
I mean,
Have pity,
Kylie-
Molly.
Kylie, who doesn't like really to binge or rewatch things, binged like the second half of the season with me, half the episode she'd already seen. So she
Yeah.
was doing both in one sitting because it was so good.
Yep.
She was, she was betraying both of her rules.
Yeah.
She was
for this show.
re-binging.
Yeah, great show, great characters. Agreed with all of Hannah's assessments.
Mm-hmm. I've been re-binging as well. I think we got through it a second time.
Re-binge.
Yeah, we did get through it a second time, and it reminded me why this is like the only Netflix show I've ever like tweeted about for a second season, like within 2 days of it coming out, because like all I want is just a second season of this show. Like,
I don't think I could rewatch a whole show right after I had just watched all of it like that. Even
Wow.
no matter
Well,
how
okay,
good.
Ben.
I'm just saying that's a pretty amazing skill.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great
It's a
skill.
testament.
Yeah, it's a
testament.
It also is a testament to how good that show is. That's true.
We have all had those moments, I guess, except Ben. But
Ben's
like,
never
haven't
done
you
that.
ever like started rereading a book as soon as you finished?
No,
or,
I've never done
you
that
know.
either.
Okay, well, okay.
Ben has 100%
How
recall. He doesn't need to reread or
I
rewatch
don't,
them.
that's not true.
He has
Ben,
a photographic
okay.
memory.
I'm going to
False.
try to relate this to your interests. Have you ever pet a cat again right after you've just pet it?
Yes.
Have you ever done, I guess, like a math problem again right after you finished it? I don't know. I'm
No.
trying to come to your level there, buddy.
That one I cannot relate to.
Have you ever, like, engineered right after you've just engineered?
Yeah.
Electrically,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I get
So
it.
that's-
I understand.
That's kind of like what we're talking
You've come
about.
to my
okay?
level and I understand.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now. That feeling.
Yeah,
Have
it's beautiful.
you ever seen a grown man naked? Okay. We've got some emails.
We do? What?
Yeah, we got 2 emails.
What?
We got 2 emails.
All right, hold
Looks
on.
like you
Emails.
already read them.
I read them already.
T-mails. All right, I'll read this first one.
Okay.
From loyal listener Aunt Brown. Hey, Aunt Brown.
Hi.
The subject is Marcona almonds, and the body of the email says, amazingly delicious, loved by all, expensive as hell. Are they the exception that proves the rule. I have to say, I fucking love Marcona almonds.
Me too.
Love them. They are, I would
Gentle.
agree with this assessment wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Amazingly delicious. Loved by all. Expensive as hell.
Yes.
Agree.
What are
Yes.
Marcona almonds?
They're loved by all. Amazingly delicious. Loved by all. Expensive as hell. I thought we have already gone over
Are they
this.
just a different kind of almond?
What are they? They might even be a different beast.
They might be. They're like, we have them at Thanksgiving, Ben. They're like wide, flat, gentle almonds.
Yeah. They're gentle. They're
Mhm.
gentle almond.
They're very gentle. I think that's why.
Yeah, we
they're
had them at
loved.
Thanksgiving. They're like the truffle flavored ones.
Wow, they're $18 a pound.
Yeah, they're
on
this
expensive as
website.
hell.
Okay, one more time, Ben. Amazingly delicious. Loved by all. Expensive as hell.
I don't know what they're the exception
I'm
to.
quitting the podcast.
Oh, almonds being
Yeah.
okay. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so we
I
have
agree.
3 options for auto replies here, guys. This is the
Whoa.
most important decision.
You
What?
guys,
Okay.
What?
Yo.
almonds
Yo.
are not nuts.
What?
What?
In
Says who?
botanical terms, it is not a nut, but a drupe.
A
droop?
droop?
Droop.
Or stone fruit is an indehiscent? I don't know how to say this. Indehiscent, maybe. Fruit.
Indecent?
Yeah, indecent fruit, in which an outer fleshy part, exocarp or skin, and mesocarp or flesh, surrounds a single shell, the pit
Ugh.
stone or pyrene.
Ugh. I don't like that. Any of that. Ugh. Is that like the plant's balls?
What? Well, yeah, kind of.
That's what it sounds like.
Oh.
It holds the seeds.
Hannah is getting to the root of this. I have a question for y'all, speaking of balls. Have you ever heard the expression soup to nuts?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never ever heard that. I heard it for the very first time today. Have you heard the expression the kitchen sink?
What
Like,
do you mean? Like everything
like-
in the kitchen sink?
No,
Everything in the kitchen
everything
sink,
but
yeah.
the kitchen sink.
Everything. I think I've heard both.
The kitchen sink is a word for like everything. So like in a web page that has like, or like a page that like displays all options is like the kitchen sink.
But the expression that it derives from is everything but the kitchen sink.
I suppose so. But I heard the first time soup to nuts, and I was like, is that when like a man spills soup on his lap? Like, I've never ever heard
It
that.
just means like completely, right?
Yeah, it means
Yeah.
like the whole thing, the
It
whole
is,
kit
like,
and caboodle.
Start to finish, like beginning to end, soup to nuts.
Soup to nuts. Interesting. Soup to Marcona almonds. Soup to droop. Wow.
Very good. You made it
Wow.
better.
You guys, this is blowing my mind. An almond is like the stone, like in a cherry. Like there's an almond fruit that has a stone inside of it that it like you break the shell open, and inside that is the almond, which we think of as a nut, but it's not a nut. It's the stone of a fruit. Is that not
Wow.
bizarre?
pretty crazy?
Maybe that's why they're
Has-
so hard, because
has
they're
any-
not. They're stones.
Where are
They're
you finding this
stones.
information?
The Wikipedia.
Hello, listen.
Wikipedia.
We need to give an auto reply. Here are our options.
Oh, I see. Like the peach has
Yeah.
like a little
Yeah.
droop in its little pooch, in its little pit.
Right.
Can we just marvel at the fact that today I have both heard for the first time soup to nuts, and we're talking about how almonds are actually droops and they rhyme. Like this is blowing my mind. This rhyme was like founded today in its entirety. I'm just
Droop
Soup
to
to
nuts.
droop.
speechless.
Soup to
Soup
droop.
to droop.
True. God, it's gonna take so long to explain that to these Southerners because there's so much. Okay, let's back up. Let's start at what it means. Okay, all right. What were you saying, Hannah?
Okay, but wait. This is a question I think more for our listeners than you guys, because I think I know the answer for you guys. But also, can we talk about bio breaks for a second?
Oh, sure.
So,
Oh yeah.
Ben, had you heard that expression before, taking a bio break?
No,
You had not. Okay.
I have
So,
not.
I have.
I had heard of it, but yeah,
It's
I've was
weird.
like aware.
I don't
of
like it.
I don't like use it.
We were reading a thing to give the listener a short bit of context. We were reading a thing for our D&D group that we were all in, And at one point there was something about a pause button, and it was saying that it's like if you want to discuss a rule or take a bio break. And Erin posted what she thought was a very funny joke about does taking a bio break mean like you have to go poop. And I was like, yes, that is what it means. And it's an expression that I was familiar with from like work, from like business meetings and stuff. People say that when they like are taking a fiver, they'll be like, everybody go take a bio break. We'll be back. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm weird. Curious if our listeners had heard this before or not. Our listeners. Please
listeners,
give us a call or an email or a tweet and tell us if you have heard the expression taking a bio break while we're on euphemisms. Soup to droop.
Got another email. Also from Aunt Brown.
Thanks, Aunt Brown.
Shout outs to Aunt Brown.
Hold up. Wait, hold on. We did not reply to this email.
Oh, sorry.
I've been trying to read you the auto replies.
I'm sorry. We've been okay.
Go.
We've been learning.
I already know which one I want.
Amazing facts about elephants. I'm torn. Okay, so are they the exception that proves the rule? The first option is yes, they are. Okay, very factual. The second option is glad you enjoyed them. Also an exclamation point. The third option is no, they are not. Period. The third option is always so rude.
It's glad you enjoyed them, of course.
Glad you enjoyed them. Thank you.
It's gotta be. Okay,
yeah,
I'm sending that.
Be.
Awesome. Glad you enjoyed them.
Oh, this is so good. Okay, you read the second email. I don't know how to pronounce this word.
Okay. The subject line of this email is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
Mama loved that book.
Well, you're about to learn what Aunt Brown thinks of it.
What?
No, you're not. Listening to a discussion of sex education. Wondering if any of you have read books or seen movie. She means
I've read books. I've seen movie.
Yeah. There's no auto replies for this one, so I might just send that back. Asa Butterfield has a very big role in that. I'm assuming she means the movie and not the books.
Aunt Brown's like got a lot going on. She like doesn't have time to like expose on this email, like an expose. I'm not using these words correctly.
I've never read those books or seen that movie.
Have you read books
or
seen movie?
I have read books and I've seen movie.
Read books, seen movie?
You know what I knew Asa Butterfield from?
Yes.
Ender's Game.
Oh, I said that last week, didn't I?
You did. Yeah. You really did.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Ender's Game movie, but I read book. I read book, not see movie.
I read book after I saw movie because I liked the movie so much.
I haven't read book and I haven't seen movie.
Book good. How movie?
Movie good, although they didn't decide to make any of the sequels, and there were like a bunch of sequels to the book. And I don't think it did particularly well in the box office, but I liked it.
I haven't read the sequels.
Ben, you haven't read book of Miss
I haven't
Peregrine?
either. You know, I started to read the sequel, what do I fucking say there? The name of which I forget.
I have an announcement.
What's that?
I am about to Google Ender's Game, but I typed in Ender and the 3 auto-complete options are Ender 3 T nuts and Ender's Game and Ender 3 eccentric nuts.
What?
So
what?
Yep. Let's see what Ender 3 T nuts are.
Ender 3.
Oh, nothing interesting. Okay.
Oh.
I think the author might be problematic.
Speaker for the Dead is the next one.
Yeah.
Ben, you haven't read Miss Peregrine's blah 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 children?
No.
Didn't you just say you love those books?
No, I said Mama loved those books, which is why I was confused when you said now we're going to hear what Aunt Brown thinks about these books.
Oh, well that explains so much for both of us.
Doesn't it, though?
Yeah.
Doesn't it just?
I've read one of them. It was good. I've read book, but I haven't seen movie.
Oh wow. Or
Yeah,
you just find out why he's problematic too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
Not a fan of the gays.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
wow.
no good.
Vocal opponent to same-sex marriage.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I had heard something about that. Anyway, it's a good book. Don't buy it, maybe. Get it from the library.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. That's good advice.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't support people who don't support people you love.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
That's what I think. Well, thanks, Aunt Brown, for the... he lives in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Oh, great.
I don't know why I said that weird. Greensboro.
Wow, he sucks. Oh, he's a Mormon.
Yeah.
He's the great-great-grandson of Brigham Young?
No. I'm sure they all say that.
Wow.
That's actually not true. Actually, the Mormons are very intense about
Keeping track of their
genealogy,
family trees.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what were we gonna fake auto reply to Aunt Brown's last email?
I already did it.
You already did? Okay, cool.
I have read books and I have seen movie.
Yeah.
I read books. I've seen movies. Nice. Cool. Well, that's that email housekeeping.
Thank you for remembering that.
Yeah, sure.
We saw people ice fishing in Maine. A lot of people. That's another thing.
Okay.
That's so
All
cool. Can you tell me more about it?
No.
That just sounds terrible. Why are you so north in the winter? You're heading in the wrong direction, man.
I don't like heat. I just don't like intense cold either.
You're right. That's right.
So, what are you going to do?
I just want it to be just right.
Yeah. Should we pop in?
Let's pop in.
Okay. Erin is up first this week.
And what?
Hmm?
What'd you say? I was too busy squealing. I didn't hear what you
I
said.
said you're up first this week.
Okay. Whoa. That was not me. That was Hannah. Just so you know.
That was me.
Cool. I have a kind of fun obsession this week. Not that I'm not meaning to imply, I'm not dissing on myself for the other ones. I can't tell you how this began, but earlier this week, 8 days ago to be exact, I was wanting to hear. Do you know, in the 2000s, there were all these great bands that had these kind of rock, emo rock, really feeling, a lot of feelings.
Examples.
Examples. Chevelle.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard him.
Mm-hmm.
The Red.
Yeah.
Send the Pain Below.
Yeah.
Wow, never heard any of these.
Yeah, you have heard the Red.
You've heard the Red.
Yeah.
Seeing red again. Seeing red again.
Doesn't sound familiar.
Incubus.
I know
Incubus.
Incubus.
Yeah. Great example.
Okay.
It's got some they come out with some slower songs, but mostly their stuff is kind of thrashy a little bit, but not to the point where it's heavy metal. It's
sensitive.
It's right. It's for suburban, teenagers to feel, they're listening to rock and roll or heavy metal, but it's not too intense. There's not really much cursing.
Yeah.
And it's mostly about you're processing your feelings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Another great example.
Mm-hmm.
System of a Down.
Yeah.
Although they're, yeah. So I started just making a playlist of all those songs. So I started with Chevelle, just oh man, these songs are so good, and then just kind of made a little playlist, made about 8 songs, and then I sent it to Molly, and then she started adding some because she was also oh yeah, this 2000 emo rock is it's so good. It's been so long,
mm-hmm.
and it's just hitting the fucking spot. So that's my obsession. Is I made this playlist called the Emo 2000, and I'll send it to you right now and let y'all look over it, and you can share it. Excuse me.
The Emo 2000. Is that how you'd like it to be referred to in the show notes?
Emo 2000. I mean, that's the playlist. So when you share the playlist, that's what it's fucking called. There you go. Take a look at that. So it's like AFI, brand new, Seether, POD.
Oh, POD.
Like all those.
Perfect.
Yeah, like Tantric, like all of the, like Taproot, like all of these songs you'll, like a lot of like you'll listen to, like Godsmack, you're like listening to it and you're like, oh yeah, this song. Oh yeah, this song.
Oh, Paper Cut. I love that song.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, anyway.
Oh, Jimmy Eat World.
Me,
I still listen to Jimmy Eat World all the time.
Yeah, same.
Ugh.
To me, this playlist like really has been hitting the spot. Like it's pretty much all I've been listening to. Like it's been really good work music, and then when I leave work, it's been really good workout music, and then it's just like good listening in the car music. So I've been like pretty much only listening to this playlist this week, and it's just I'm just loving it. So I pass it along to you. It is collaborative right now. Probably if you're gonna share it out is a phrase to our podcast group. I'll probably close that. But you guys, if you remember any great songs that I'm missing here, throw it on there. But yeah, This is my obsession. Emo 2000.
Wow, this is a good playlist.
Thank you.
I don't know all the songs on it, although I probably will recognize more than I think I will right now.
Yeah, that is true. And the other ones are pretty much more or less like in theme, and so like some of them were new to me that Molly had added. And then another great thing is that this playlist has got so much on it, like in theme, that the suggestions, the recommended songs have been pretty good. And also the radio when it ends has been more or less in theme, so I've like discovered some more songs like in that genre that I had forgotten about. So
I never make playlists. I feel like it could be fun. I usually listen to whole albums.
It's fun to do that.
I'm
too.
always making those playlists.
Yeah, but then when you're done with that, or when you've really like digested an album, then you start to think about how it could interplay with other albums. It's like level 2 of Spotify. Yeah. You're on level 1 still.
I also like making albums of like my favorite artist, and I'll just like I have like Dessa faves. I have like Indigo Girls, Ava Brothers, like just like my favorite Natalie Merchant. Like I'll just like make Elvis Costello. I'll just like make playlists of like my favorite songs. Although I have to watch out because I'll only start listening to those artist playlists instead of like remembering to go back and like listen to the deep cuts. I also have a B. Steadwell playlist, but instead of my favorite B. Steadwell songs, it's every single B. Steadwell song that I know about because those are my favorite B. Steadwell songs.
That works. Yeah, actually, they are kind of far flung. I've noticed that she has like two of her albums up there, but then there are like all these collaborations and stuff that are sort of elsewhere. So that's smart.
And then also all the ones that I bought on Bandcamp, which you should buy her music and purchase and give her money. I've downloaded, and you can add local files obviously to Spotify, and so I have those in there too.
I don't know how to do that.
It's so easy. I could do it with you. Yeah, just do it.
Oh
Hannah.
my god,
Okay.
you guys!
You're right.
Have you
right.
heard Paul McCartney's new song yet?
No.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Oh well,
It's super, super fucking auto-tuned.
Oh no.
And it sounds really weird with Paul McCartney's voice because his voice is like too old for auto-tune.
Huh.
And it just like doesn't make sense because it's fucking Paul McCartney.
It's called Get Enough. I feel like we've gotten enough.
You're like almost 80, dude. It's fine.
Yo.
It's fine. You can retire.
You've contributed enough music.
People won't be mad.
I'll be mad.
Ben will be mad, but
I'm always mad.
no, I haven't listened to it yet, but I will. But it doesn't sound like something I should look forward to. Oh, okay. Hang on. If Erin's listening to it now.
It sounds like it sounds like
Just
that.
Wait for the chorus.
No, I fast forwarded to the chorus. It sounds like the that like YouTube video who makes those the YouTube video who makes those videos. The YouTube
when they
auto-tune
when they like auto-tune a news clip into a song, yes, it does. It sounds exactly like that.
It sounds like a parody.
Yep, it sounds like someone is parodying Paul McCartney, like making fun of Paul McCartney with this song.
Wow.
I can't play it on my computer. Because I am not signed into Spotify on it.
You dumb idiot.
Yeah.
That seems like a bad thing to not be.
Well, it's not like it's not my computer I'm on all day. It's my shared computer.
All right.
Okay.
Well, anyway,
cool.
that's all. Short and sweet.
Great obsesh. I love that. I will tweet out that playlist, so you have until Sunday to decide whether or not you want to keep it open to suggestions.
Cool. I'll keep it open for y'all if you want to add something, but
okay.
you have until Sunday.
I'll do my best.
You have basically tomorrow.
What was it called again? Emo 2000.
Yeah, and I put a freaking link right in our freaking Slack.
I know you did. I'm just I'm filling in the freaking notes, you frick. Frick.
Ben, you really got us there.
Yeah.
I'm reflecting on the way I just spoke to Hannah, and it was not very respectful. You're right, Ben. Ben, you're right.
Berzinga.
So wise.
Ben's freaking right.
He is right. We should be
Hannah,
kinder to
I'm
each
sorry
other.
I didn't talk to you with respect earlier.
It's okay, and I'm sorry that I didn't treat you with respect.
We're lucky we have Ben to call us out on our bullshit.
Heebie-jeebies.
Phenomena. Ben, would you like to say some words now and do your obsession?
Yes.
Would you like to speak some words about what you're obsessed with this week?
Please.
Yes. I didn't have anything super new this week because been still dealing with getting them kitties introduced and used to each other.
So nice.
They're so nice. They're so good. They're so cute and lovely.
Have you had any hiccups with them?
Yeah, we had to. So there, Como. Quick update on that first, since my obsession is kind of small. I think as I mentioned, like at first, Como was like super fixated on Hazel and like only following her around, but like he was never really playing that aggressively. And then as he kind of got more used to her, when they like spent a couple days just like together, he started to like ignore her half the time and just like be kind of his normal self. But then like when he was focusing on her, he was like being a lot more persistent in chasing her, and like sometimes it would get a little more violent than we'd want. And it's hard to tell with cats if it's like actually fighting or playing, but I'm pretty sure from her perspective it wasn't playing. So we decided for most of this week to keep them separated again, just kind of slow things down a little bit, and make sure that we're not like rushing the introduction. But right now they're both downstairs asleep on the couch with Kylie. And when she first came, today was the first. Yeah, actually, yesterday was the first. Oh, no, it was today. Today was the first day where we like let them intermingle all day again. And at first, it was like a lot of him chasing her, but every time it got too much, we would like clap really loud and make a loud like yell like no or whatever, and then put him in our bedroom for like 10 minutes as like a timeout. And so, because he really doesn't like being ignored, so that's like the only way to punish him is just like put him somewhere alone and ignore him, which is really sad, but like we need him to like associate that with like the clapping and loud noises and everything so that he will stop when we do that. That's basically what we're trying to do, is like kind of associate that punishment with getting off of her, or like every time he jumps on her. We just want him to not do that anymore.
Yeah.
But then he
there.
was, after a few hours, he like was just kind of walking around and somewhat ignoring her, and now they fell asleep on the couch at the same time. So
nice.
they're doing better. They're doing good. Anyway, my obsession is this web series that I watched. It's actually kind of old now. It came out in like 2016. But I really like it, and I watched it when it came out pretty much. And then it's called The Earliest Show. I thought I might have talked about it on the pod before, but it's not in the topic index, so I don't think I have. But it was made by Ben Schwartz, and it stars Ben Schwartz and Lauren Lapkus. And it's like this web series that where Ben Ben Schwartz and Lauren Lapkus play like the host of one of those early morning talk shows.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 90% improvised. They like have the story, like the main story that they do in the episodes, but like most of the dialogue is improvised.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both like such good improvisers. It's fucking hilarious. The story is that like in the first episode, the Ben Schwartz character Josh proposes to his girlfriend on the show, and she turns him down. And then there are 5 more episodes where he goes through each of the stages of grief. And there's a special guest in every episode. Like Reggie Watts is in one, and Thomas Middleditch and Pedro Pascal and Jane Levy. I don't know who that is.
I've heard
but she's in it. Jake Johnson.
It's called The Earliest?
The Earliest Show.
The Early Show?
The Earliest Show.
Okay, sorry.
Wow.
And then the reason I like
Ben Schwartz. Okay.
Love
I was like, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah,
I'm like,
he's
he's
fucking
on
great.
Parks and Rec.
he's on Ralphio. Yeah.
John Ralphio. Oh, it's so good.
The reason I like came back to it was because Lauren Lapkus posted on Twitter how she just like was randomly watching the blooper reel from this show and remembered how like fun it was to make and everything. Because there's like they posted like an hour-long video of outtakes and bloopers along with the show, and they're fucking hilarious because it's like mostly just like improvised bits that were like either too extreme for the actual show or just like made everyone laugh because they were so fucking funny. And some of them,
Ben, I'm gonna watch.
They're quick too.
Sorry.
They're only like 10 minutes long.
Yeah,
each
I'm
episode.
going to watch
I'm gonna watch
immediately
all of
after.
these tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching all
They're
of this
so
tonight.
They're really, really good. I recommend watching the outtakes also. If fucking Molly has to train for B school or whatever.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna watch all these tonight, and that like if I love outtakes and bloopers, like I will
funny.
be motivated to finish a show just so I can like watch the outtakes and bloopers without spoilers. Like I'm here for that.
Have
The
you
guy
seen
who
the
plays
outtakes and
their,
bloopers from Parks and Rec, by the way, Erin?
Yeah, I totally watched those before I finished the show because I couldn't wait.
They were
They're
so
really
fun.
good.
Like
Yeah.
the Chris Pratt ones are like
Yeah.
ridiculous.
My favorite, have you seen the one where he fucking breaks the light switch?
No.
Yeah.
That's my and Rob
Have
was
you
like,
seen the comeback
you
one?
fucking destroyed it. Yeah, the comeback one.
The comeback story one. Oh my god.
Oh,
Anyway, what were you going to say,
so
Ben?
good.
Sorry, Ben.
I don't remember. What was I saying?
Something about the cast.
I think you were talking about the. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, the guy who plays... There's, like, the third kind of main character is their producer, named Mark, and I've never seen him in anything else, but he's so fucking funny in this. And in the outtakes and bloopers also, he's just, like, fucking hilarious.
Oh. Yeah, I just
Highly recommend.
saw him for a split second in this first 30 seconds that I've watched, and he did not look familiar at all. Erin, are you
He's
familiar
very
with
good.
Lauren Lapkus at all?
Yeah. You know where I'm most familiar with her is in her like non-comical role in Orange is the New Black.
yeah.
That's her.
Yep, that is her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She is like one of the funniest people I think right now that I'm
Yeah.
like aware of in the world. She's like
Yeah.
she's like, I actually think that's such a perfect pairing because they really are just both such like amazing. It's like James Middleditch. Is that his name? The first
Thomas
name?
Middleditch.
James.
Thomas.
Middleditch. I always do that. I just want his name to be something
I always
different.
confuse
In one of the bloopers...
James and Thomas.
In one of the bloopers, the producer calls him Thomas Centerhole.
Thomas what?
Centerhole. Because
Tom-
it's like middle ditch.
Oh. Wait, is he in this
I love
too?
that.
What?
He's in this too?
Yeah, he's a guest in one of the episodes.
I just love him so much. He's also those three people might be like my favorite 3 improvisers I've ever like experienced.
Yeah.
And now
I really
you know,
want to go to a Middleditch and Schwartz
me
show
too.
in
That's
LA.
what I was trying to get to. I bet they're so fun.
Yeah.
They toured
wanna go.
together. Ugh, me too. They should. Lauren Lapkus should go with them. It would be so great.
Be amazing.
Amazing. This looks awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
Let's just end the show now and we can all go
I actually
watch it.
haven't watched the show itself since I watched it that first time, but I've watched the blooper reel. I watched the blooper reel again the other day and thoroughly enjoyed it.
I love this.
I love a good blooper reel. I mean,
It's also there are some other funny people in it, not just like as because they have like guests that come on as like people they interview, and then they also have like people come on to do like, you know, like cooking segments or whatever that they do in like early morning shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like Eugene Cordero is in one, and oh fuck, what's her name?
I like that guy, Eugene
I
Cordero.
don't remember the names of the other people, but there are other funny people, and they're more funny people than I already said. It's great.
Wow. Can't even imagine. More funny people than you already said. Wow.
Mhm.
funny people from soup to droop.
Soup to droop, baby. All the way down.
What a beautiful happenstance.
We really created something beautiful here tonight. I just want to say, if our small contribution to the world through the forging fires of WayTooBroad.
Yep.
We bring you soup to droop.
Soup to droop.
You're welcome.
That's free. That's free for you.
That's free for you to use.
Yeah.
You could just use that out and about.
Use it.
Soup to droop.
Use it from the soup of your day to the droop of your day.
That's so good.
It doesn't make any less sense that way.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's like as valid as soup to nuts.
Yeah.
If the nuts in the soup to nuts are almonds, then it is literally soup to droop.
Yeah.
It's literally soup to droop, and I feel like almonds is like a really popular like night food.
What?
You can quote me. On that. It's a popular night food.
What is a night food?
Okay.
Almonds is like a really popular night food.
Night food. You can quote me on that. Tell anyone you want that I said that.
I plan to. I'm going to tell everyone.
Well, Erin Brown says almonds are a very popular
Not
night
even
food.
a good one, just a popular one.
Yeah, well, they're not good.
Many people
Okay,
are
are
saying
they?
that almonds are very popular night food.
I've been hearing this a lot tonight.
Oh, man.
Like at the restaurant tonight, they were like, can I tempt anybody into some almonds? I was like, almond menu? And I was like, whew, now I'm full. Thank you.
I have an important question. I think it's important.
Yeah.
If peanuts aren't nuts and almonds aren't nuts,
Yeah.
then what are nuts?
Cashews.
Cashews
Of course.
are you sure?
Are we sure?
Yeah.
Oh, jinx.
I think they are.
This-
I'm on the case.
Yeah. Ben's got it.
Walnuts
Ben's on the
definitely
nut
are.
case.
Nice.
Ben's on the nut case.
That took me a second. Sorry.
I thought you hadn't heard.
It's a droop. It's a droop.
A
Is
cashew
it?
as well?
The true fruit of the cashew tree is a kidney or boxing glove shaped drupe that grows on the end of the cashew apple. The drupe develops first on the tree and then
The
in the
cashew
pedestal.
apple?
Yes, to become the
Is it-
cashew apple. Within the true fruit is a single seed, which is often considered a nut in the culinary sense.
Well, I don't want
is
it to
a
be nut in the
nut,
culinary
then?
sense.
Are an
I'm just
odd
gonna
droop
look
in
up
everything.
nut on Wikipedia.
What
That-
are true nuts? Oh, I'm afraid to Google that.
What are true
What are-
nuts?
I'm really afraid to Google that. What are true nuts? I'm gonna do it. What are really truly nuts?
Hard shelled
okay,
pod.
here we go. In general usage, a wide variety of dried seeds are called nuts, but in a botanical context, a nut implies that the shell does not open to release the seed.
Wait. A nut implies what?
A nut is a fruit composed of an inedible hard shell and a seed, which is generally edible. In general usage, a wide variety of dried seeds are called nuts, but in a botanical context, nut implies that the shell does not open to release the seed.
But
So like what?
So you have to break it.
I guess.
But like
a hazelnut? Like a hazelnut?
yes, a hazelnut. Or
true nuts include pecan, sweet chestnut, beech, acorns.
Chestnuts.
Oh.
Hazelnuts, acorns.
Pistachios.
But pistachios break, or do you have to like roast them to make them break?
Walnuts have fruits that are difficult to classify. They are considered to be nuts under some definitions, but are also referred to as drupaceous nuts.
Oh.
We're learning so much today.
Wow.
You know, it's like, why?
Yeah. Wow, Hannah.
Wow.
Good contribution.
It's just like we are all calling them nuts. Like, why can't they just be nuts? What's the problem?
Okay, here's a list of fruits and seeds that do not meet the botanical definition but are nuts in the culinary sense.
Okay.
Almonds, Brazil nuts, candle nuts, cashews, Chilean hazelnuts, macadamias,
The fuck is a
peanuts,
candle nut?
pecans, pine nuts, pistachios, walnuts.
That's all of the nuts.
That's all the
No
nuts.
nuts are nuts. I was not
Pecans
called
are
nuts
also
anymore.
the seeds of a drupe fruit.
Wow.
This is what I'm saying. No nuts are
From soup
nuts.
to droop. It's like
soup
even
to
more true. It's even more true.
Yeah.
Cashews are the seeds of a drupe fruit with an accessory fruit. I don't know what that means.
Buy one, get one. It's BOGO.
That's why cashews are great.
Cashews are bonus fruits, bonus drupes.
Bonus droop.
What the fuck is a candle nut? These look like dried, those beans, garbanzo beans.
Are they even beans?
Oh, but they're big. Probably not. Nothing is what we say it is.
Macadamia is a creamy white kernel of a follicle type fruit. Are macadamias creamy?
I mean,
Hazelnut does look like a chickpea. Anna looks like a hazelnut.
yeah. Macadamia, I could call if pressed, I could call a macadamia creamy. If I was pressed, or if the macadamia was pressed.
Candle nuts are toxic when eaten raw, and the toxicity dissipates upon cooking. Okay, no thanks.
Yeah, don't eat those.
It's just like, trust me, the toxicity has dissipated. Okay, no. Your face is dissipated after you eat one.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Wow.
try those probably. What do they
I
taste
feel like my world is crumbling apart.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like this is that thing, like the Berenstain Bears.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's that
Mean
thing.
Berenstain Bears.
The Berenstain Bears, that's what I meant.
No.
Like, it's like, our reality was that
All these things were nuts.
I don't even remember reception. Okay, I can't talk anymore. Hannah, what's
Hannah
it?
Poppin.
Great thing. Great words that you said, Ben.
Yeah,
Thanks.
gonna watch that.
Great things that you like. Yeah, I'm totally gonna watch that right when we hang up.
Thanks for just ruining my nut life.
You're welcome.
I just don't know what to believe anymore.
I know that wasn't your obsession, but it is now.
If they're not nuts, why do we call them
Exactly.
nuts? You know, why don't we
This
just
is what
call
I'm
them
saying.
drupes?
What are nuts? Like, why do we call all these things nuts? It's like the majority
They're-
of nuts are not nuts.
None of them are nuts.
Yeah. Why can't?
I'm gonna call them drupes from
Okay.
now on.
I didn't make the rules. Shit.
Look, Ben didn't come here to like stir the pot, okay? But the pot's done been stirred, so we're just gonna have to sit with that.
Yep, you're right. So now I gotta go in this frothy pot. I have to go.
Yep.
Okay.
Gross.
Pop on in.
I don't know what you're talking about. So, My Obsesh is another show that I'm watching. I just finished on Netflix. I have, a little mini shout out I wanted to give to the, I wish they had a better name than this, but the Mabim Bambinos podcasters group, that it's a descriptive name. They're all people who like my brother and me, who are also podcasters. that I'm a part of on Facebook and also like on their Discord. And I think I may have shouted them out before, but they continue to be just so awesome. Like there was a convention recently, that I've been meaning to talk to you guys about because I really want to go next year, called PodCon. It was like the second one ever, and a lot of them like did a big meetup while they were there and spent a lot of time together at the convention, and
Cool.
we're posting about it on the Facebook, and it looked really fun. I was having like a ton of FOMO and jealousy, but then later, like it's only been a week I think or so since that PodCon ended. They today posted on the Facebook group that they're starting. They want to start within the group a bunch of little committees of people to help sort of organize around the idea of not only just like sort of a loosely organized meetup event, but like a more tightly organized meetup event, and also to potentially raise some money so that people who may not be able to afford to go to like that kind of convention could have the opportunity to go. Like podcasters who might want to go, but they just wouldn't have the money to spare to do it. And it's just like, you know, just within the group, like they're like just taking people like they're starting like this committee, and they have all these like different groups that they're trying to sort of fill with able people for like marketing and for like legal, to make sure that they don't do anything accidentally illegal in fundraising, and you know, for event planning, all these things. It's just kind of just sprung up out of this thought that they want to get more people from the group to be there next year. And I just thought that was like so super sweet. So I signed up for that. That was today. So
Cool.
Nothing has come of it, but that's really fun. And
I'd go to PodCon.
I would love to go. It's in Seattle usually. It was the last 2 years. And it seems like just a total blast. Like it seems really great.
Cool.
So
Yeah, I would go.
yeah, so they're just really nice, and I'm glad that I joined that group and have gotten to know those people. And I actually want to make a point to like engage with all of those people more, and not just observe how nice they are, but actually interact with them, because when I do that, it's always really fulfilling. They're like really lovely people. And just in general, to be more outgoing about the fact that I have a podcast and talking to people about it and talking to other podcasters and things like that, because you know, it's not anything, it's something to be proud of. It's not something to be ashamed of or whatever. I just get so weird about it. It's just weird.
Yeah. I mean, we're contributing to, you know, the catchphrases of humanity, and
right,
you know,
from soup to droop.
The cultural canon.
Yeah, exactly. You should be proud of that.
I am
Hannah.
proud of it. I'm so proud of
Good. Me too. I'm so proud
of that. So,
Me too.
but the show that I want to speak on, which Ian and I were both kind of surprised that I hadn't already.
Please do speak on it.
I will speak on it.
Speak on it. Speak on it, for God's sake.
I am going to speak on it. It's called Schitt's Creek.
Oh, you know who loves that show and has been trying to get me to watch it is our good friend Sarah.
Oh, it's so good. I'm not surprised that she likes it.
Is that the one about the rich family?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Who? It's Eugene
Lose
Levy.
all their money or something.
Yeah, it's Eugene.
Oh, Eugene Levy.
It's Eugene Levy, and he plays like the patriarch of the family, and I believe Bernie Madoff style like embezzler person, like absconds with all of their billions of dollars that he gathered by building like a video rental empire back when those still existed. And his wife is like this famous actress, or she was in her time, you know, and they've been living this lavish lifestyle, and they have these two kids who had both like never really had to sort of make their own money, so they, you know, on and off lived with their family and stuff. So their house like all gets repossessed, all their stuff gets repossessed, and somehow, I don't remember how, they end up in this like town called Schitt's Creek, living in like a motel into like connected rooms. And that's where a lot of the action takes place in the first season, and like them getting to know the locals in this really small town, and the owner, whose name is Roland Schitt, and and he's crazy. He's totally funny. He and his wife are really funny. Like the what I like about this show is the acting is the writing and like the mood of it, it's like it's funny and it's silly, but it's like much harder on the rich family than it is on like the local yokels. And it's also like overall all around is like a lot sort of warmer than it could be, you know, written. It's like they're in this dire situation, and they're learning to live in this different way, but they're also like making a lot of actual human connections, and they're sort of like, you know, realizing or learning that they actually love each other now that they have to spend time around each other, you know. In some ways it's like, it's kind of, you know, it's not just all cynical all the time. And my favorite part of the show are the two kids, Alexis and David. David is like this bisexual. He has like the best outfits. I didn't mean to say it like that. I didn't think of another word. He is bisexual, and he has like all of the best outfits in the show.
He's one of those bisexual.
He's like extremely sardonic all the time. He's like smirks through every scene. I think he's like a co-producer. I think that he's Eugene Levy's son.
Yeah. I saw that.
And his Eugene Levy's daughter actually is also in it. She like plays the waitress at the local cafe, which they're also in all the time, and she's a great character as well. But
that's so cool.
Yeah, so it's cute. It's like they made this show together, and like it just also happens to be like really good and have some great performances from a number of different people.
I think like Eugene Levy and his son like wrote it and created it.
Yeah, I
right?
think that's right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I was double checking that to make sure. When you said it was Eugene Levy, when Sarah was telling me about it, I didn't realize that was it. She's like, yeah, it's like this guy and his son like created it and starred in it, and I didn't know it was Eugene Levy. That's cool. It's like not some guy.
It's Eugene Levy.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
So there's a new season. Well, I don't know when it came out, but there's 4 seasons on Netflix right now. And I had not realized that the 4th season, like by the time that I found it, which was earlier this week, it didn't have like a new episodes tag on it anymore. Somehow I missed it when the 4th season came out on Netflix. So that was really exciting for us because Ian really likes it too. So we watched through that this week, and the 4th season was really, really good. Every season's been really good. I don't really think that they've like had a bad season yet. Nice. But I really liked this most recent season, and it did just start back up on TV as well. I think it's on like the Pop channel or something. I don't know. And it's also like it's produced by
Canadian.
the CBC. Yeah. So, but I think you can watch it someplace in the US because I was reading about
CBC
it.
Oil.
What is CBC?
Produced by CBC Oil.
Yeah, CBC Oil.
Nice.
Helps you relax.
Oh, and it's got Catherine O'Hara in it too.
Yeah, she plays the wife. She's very funny. I couldn't remember her name. Yeah.
Have you guys seen A Mighty Wind?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
That was my favorite no I've ever received. It was like a kind of a haunting no. No. Oh my god, that's so fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. And Alexis is very fun too. I don't remember that actress's name. I hadn't seen her in anything before, but she's really good.
I didn't know it had all my old pals in it.
Sarah did a bad job trying to get you to watch
I don't think she knew that I loved these people. Like
Annie Murphy.
She's very fun. She's sweet.
She's a Canadian.
There's a lot of like, I don't know. There's just all kinds of antics. Just every kind of antics. It's great. You should all watch it. And it's like, it clearly was produced on a budget. Like the sets are not crazy. And as I mentioned, they do like use a lot of the same sets all the time. They shoot a lot of things in cars and stuff. Like it feels a little bit lower budget than some shows on Netflix. But it's like, it adds to the charm. It just makes it feel like more authentic in some way.
Okay, Eugene Levy just seems like the most wholesome person. Like, he's in the most wonderful movies, and he's been married to the same woman since 1977. And it's like, because it's like that one author of Ender's Game where we're like, ooh, man, he's problematic. Eugene Levy is a member of the Canadian charity Artists Against Racism.
Oh.
He just seems like a great dude.
Oh, he's Canadian. I didn't realize that. That makes sense.
The Canadian charity. That's so nice.
That's a Canadian charity. Yeah.
So nice. Yeah, he's Canadian. He was born in 1969. Nice.
Nice.
Sarah Levy.
Wait, what? He was born in... No, he hasn't been married since he was 8. So that's not right.
Sorry, that's his year. That's his years active.
We were both doing that math, Ben. It was nice.
No, he was born in 1946.
He was born in 1946. You're right.
Wow, he's been working for a while, huh? Shit.
Since 1969. Nice.
It seems really wholesome. He's been married to the same woman since he was 8 years old.
Oh my god.
That you don't get more wholesome than that, folks.
But he's been active since 1969.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty active.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say A Mighty Wind that Catherine O'Hara was in?
Yeah, they were a couple
And he wrote
of
it.
singers. He wrote A Mighty
He
Wind?
wrote, directed, and composed it with Christopher Guest.
Oh, the song?
Oh, nice. The song?
No, the film.
Hold on.
Composed?
The film was co-written, directed, and composed by Christopher Guest. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it
you're
was
looking at the
co-written with
song.
Eugene Levy, whatever, and then directed and composed by Christopher Guest.
Composed.
Okay.
It is weird to say that a film was composed, I agree.
Yeah.
But that's just how it says it on Wikipedia. I'm just reading it.
I love, oh my god, I just love, in Best in Show, they were in Best in Show together. I just love the whole suite of movies from Christopher Guest and co.
Yeah.
And watching Spinal Tap and then A Mighty Wind so many years later is just so lovely.
Yeah.
Christopher Guest is married to Jamie Lee Curtis.
Huh.
Oh yeah, he is.
And he's a member of the House of Lords? Or he was?
Hell yeah, he is. I don't know about that one.
What? He's the Right Honorable the Lord Hayden Guest?
Sure.
Is he royalty? What the fuck?
I mean, he's movie royalty for sure.
Holds hereditary British peerage as the 5th Baron Hayden Guest, and has
Oh my
publicly
God.
expressed the desire to see the House of Lords reformed as a democratically elected chamber.
And he's actually a droop. He also is a droop. That is
God.
crazy.
Wow.
Wild.
Yeah, so it's
Man.
good. You should watch it. It's fun. I don't know
Good.
how to it's not okay, it's not laugh a minute funny in the same way that Parks and Rec is. It's like an ensemble cast, and so in that way it's it's fun, but it's almost just this constant low simmering sort of amusement and joy at what's going on all the time on your screen. Basically, it's how I would describe watching it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just have to tell you this. Christopher Guest and Jamie Lee Curtis adopted their children, and because Guest's children are adopted, they cannot inherit the family barony under the terms of the letter's patent that created it through a 2004 royal warrant. What is this?
Wow. What?
The current
Extremely rude.
Wow.
Barony.
Oh my god. Wow. This is crazy. Okay. Isn't he American?
We've come full circle. He's British. He was born in America, but his parents are British, or at least his dad is.
Wow.
So was he
This is
born a
crazy.
baron?
Okay.
Or his dad was a baron?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, well that was an interesting Christopher Guest rabbit hole. But yeah.
Great.
Watch Schitt's Creek on
Man, I
Netflix.
didn't know this.
Yeah.
I'm 100% more likely to watch this now.
Awesome.
I thought it was just some rando, but it's all my pals.
It's all your pals.
It's all my freaking pals.
Yeah, and some new pals to boot.
To boot.
Tubit.
Homework time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Erin, what's your homework for the peoples?
Hey, listen to Emo 2000. Enjoy it. Just process your feelings. If you have any songs that you think of that I forgot, don't at me. Okay.
I have a question.
What's up?
Does the order matter, or do you recommend shuffle?
It is. I recommend shuffle just because there's no order, and some artists will be in there like twice, in a row.
Gotcha.
So just throw that bad boy in a shuffle.
Oh,
that's one thing I don't do with my playlists is like come up with a meaningful order. I used to, but like who has time for that anymore?
It's a lot of work because then like you have to listen to it all to know if the order was good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I do every spring, Ben, is I have a spring mix for every spring.
Very cool.
Yeah, I make a spring playlist every spring. I have one for every spring since 2013.
That's fun.
Yeah, and then what I like to do, well, the reason I thought of it before you guys start freaking making fun of me about it, is that I have all my spring mixes, and then I'll play, and I put them all in playlist folder in Spotify, and then I'll play that spring my playlist folder on shuffle. So I'm listening to all 2, 4, 6 years, years of my playlist on a whole shuffle.
Only in the spring, though, or?
No, sometimes when it's warm out and it kind of feels like spring, like if I get a warm winter's day. Mm-hmm. When it's spring temperatures outside. I should call it spring temperature mix, but I won't. All right. My Twitter's at @ErinByrne. I simply have not been on Twitter. I review lesbian movies on Instagram at LesbianMovieReviews, which I also haven't been doing. I think that's all my things.
I think so, too. Ben, what's your homework?
Watch the earliest show. You can get it on YouTube. Or I think also on funnyordie.com because it's a Funny or Die production. And then watch the blooper reel afterwards because it's fucking hilarious.
Is Funny or Die still going?
I think so.
Why?
I mean, they made that in 2016.
How'd they make money?
Have they stopped being funny and then they died?
How'd they make money?
I mean, they have I don't know. I'm not their boss.
Ben simply doesn't know these things, Hannah.
Can I finish my homework, or are you going to interrupt me again with your stupid questions?
No, I'm fine. I don't have any more questions.
Okay, well, my Twitter is nicely proved Ben. I was home alone this week because Kylie was in San Diego, so there's a lot of pictures of me and the cats
nice
there because they're very cute, and they were both being very cuddly all week. It was nice.
That's
nice.
That's it. Bye.
Bye. And now Kylie's home, and the kitties are getting along.
For now.
My homework is watch Schitt's Creek on Netflix. All 4 seasons.
Okay.
And
Deal. Okay.
Okay.
Right. I will, yeah.
Okay. My Twitter...
Stop yelling, I'll do it.
Is that Anthropology... like the study people with an H at the beginning of it.
It's got Catherine O'Hara too.
Also, if you want to tweet at us about why people should watch Schitt's Creek, it's at WayTooBroad on Twitter, or about what nuts are nuts, if any.
If any. I don't believe in nuts anymore. That's where I am.
Yeah.
I don't believe in them.
Yeah. If you want to follow us on Instagram, we're at WayTooBroad on Instagram. I also have another podcast. It's let me finish with the... No, I gotta go back because I should have said this before. I have another podcast. It's called So Dreamy. We talk about dreams and it's like sleep disturbances and stuff. You can find it same place you found this. So Dreamy. You can email...
Unless you found this on the WayTooBroad website, in which case you can't find So Dreamy.
That's true. That is true. But you can go to our Twitter and find So Dreamy on Twitter at So Dreamy Snack. Anyway, you can email us like Aunt Brown does for those sweet auto replies at waytoobroad@gmail.com. And if you forgot any of that, except for the So Dreamy part. You can go to our website at WayTooBroad.com and find all of our contact info, including the individual people's, not just the podcast. And if that's anything you want. And then for anything you need, you can go to www.earnben.com.
That's anything you want. I love that.
And if you leave us a review on where you're listening to this, unless it's our website, because I don't think we have that ability, but like on iTunes or a place like that, and then you tell us you did it, we'll send you a sticker. It's got our faces on it, and it's a good sticker. We do have confirmation.
You just lifted up your seltzer can to like our screen. It's got our faces on it. Like you showed us your can, like it had our faces on it.
I was gonna drink it, but then I was still talking, so I decided to wait. And we do have confirmation about the durability of the sticker because friend of the show, Eamon, did receive a sticker from us for candle nights, and
hooray!
He told us it was very durable. So.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great. We've got a WayTooBroad sticker down under.
Yep.
Wow.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Actually, a few. I sent them a few because there's a few friends that we have down there now. Yeah.
Nice.
So, but I only know that one of them definitely listens. The other ones are just like friends.
Cool.
But they'll have to listen now.
Friends of a friend
they have
of
stickers. Yeah. Friends of the pod. Exactly. That's it. So then what do we do at the end? Thanks for listening. And
good night.
Have a good night.
Goodbye.
And we love you. And
we love
the
you.
podcast candle is now extinguished.
You have listened to the podcast from Soup to Droop. Good night.
Congratulations.
Go on.
I watched this crazy video before I came in here today, and it was showing how vowels in like the English language are so fucked up with all the things they can sound like. And so this guy went through all the vowels and he just chose at random like one vowel sound to use for each vowel, and then for the rest of the video only used that vowel sound in that way, like in his continued speech. And then at the end, after he had gone through all the vowels doing that, he then did like a part of Hamlet to show how crazy ass that sounds if you only use like one vowel, one vowel sound for each vowel. It sounded like a different language. It was so completely different.
You'll send that to me.
You'll
send that to me. Man, are you drinking tea that looks so good? Let's start our podcast.
Okay, all right.